box number 7, we're going to be doing foreshortening, which is where you have fingers that are coming towards you. So for this one, you need to have at least 2 that are coming towards you. So I'm going to do this pose. You're going to start out by doing the same thing where you draw the axis and divide the paper into fourths. So now I'm going to have an imaginary axis that runs across here as kind of a reference point. But I'm going to start the same way as I did in box 6, where I have my outline and comes out, my thumb. So if my middle of my axis is about right here, my thumb curves and then goes up. Here's my pinky area, this comes down and kind of like that. Okay, so I know that's the basic outline of my hand. And I'm going to open this a little bit so it stays better. There we go. And now I'm going to go in and start defining shapes, just like I did in box 5. So I know that the bottom of my hand is at about this angle. My palm is the biggest shape, so I'm going to do that one. I'm going to pretend like the line of my palm goes through here. It's kind of like an invisible line, but I know it comes up. The midpoint is just a little bit above that, and then it curves kind of like this and comes back in. So that's the basic shape of my palm. Then I can find basic shapes within that. So the pad of my thumb, and then I can even break this down. There's like a triangle shape that comes there. This part of my palm is almost like a rectangular shape. Then I'm going to come and find this shape here for my thumb. Mine goes a little bit off the page maybe. There's my thumb there, and it comes up. If I connect this line here, I can see it goes just a little bit higher. Okay, now I'm going to do this pointer finger. Goes about like that. Then there's the rest of the shapes on that. I can jump over, or I can do these ones, but I'll jump over to my pinky. The line, or the shapes are a little bit stumpier because my pinky is smaller. Okay, then I'm going to do these fingers. If I use this imaginary line, I can see that these knuckles are basically lined up with this imaginary line of where my palm ends. So I know that this knuckle needs to be somewhere right about there. A common mistake is that people will put the knuckles too high, so make sure that you're referencing that space. All right, this one kind of comes at this angle and goes like that. This pinky this pointer finger comes down and touches this pad, and this one comes over kind of like this. Okay, so now I have my basic hand broken down into shapes. Now I can go in and start adding anchor points and negative space. So I want this to be an anchor point, I want that to be an anchor point, that to be an anchor point, and so now I'm going to start connecting them with my pencil. This one needs to come over a little bit more. This is at about that angle, so it actually needs to come down a little bit. Don't forget your eraser. And then I can connect these two, and that lines up, so I'm pretty happy about that. Then I can maybe start trying to find this one. So here, this anchor point should actually be closer to up there. I can connect it here to triangulate if I want. Okay, I like this position because this one connects to there. So then I know that I need to move my finger over a little bit. Okay, so after I've started mapping out all of my anchor points, then I can do that for all of these ones above, right? So I know that this should be at that angle. I got pretty lucky with that, and I'll keep going that way. Then I can look at my negative space as well. So I know that this negative space should look kind of like this. And I can use my negative space to then help define the edges of my fingers. And last, don't forget to do the shading and the details.